Good day to everybody. It's Dr. O here. I hope you're well. And I have a massive question mark over there. There it is. I want to talk to you about a subject which I think is very important, and that is communication, and specifically what is, I believe, to be, if not the number one tool in my armory when I'm talking to people. I've been very blessed, as many of you know, to be able to travel the world and to be able to articulate and talk in front of massive audiences, but also on one-to-one, and lots of coaching and mentoring with people over the years. And the thing that often I get asked the question about is, what do I do to really make my communication effective? What's the thing that I would do more than anything else? If I had a choice, what would be one tool I'd hang on to more than anything else? Just bear with me. I'm going to just change my lighting a little bit here. Let's see if that is a bit better, because it seems to be playing up a little bit. Is that any better? Okay, that's it. I'm clearer. That's not. It's a bit bright, isn't it? Apologies. Just lets you know that it's live. Okay. So, if you run a business, if you are an investor, if you happen to be a parent, if you're in a job or seeking to climb the corporate ladder, doing any sort of presenting, any sort of communication with anybody, in a shop, in a conflict situation, and we use this a lot in conflict resolution, this is a massive tool you have to learn to develop and work with. And that is the tool of asking questions. Now, I can tell you, I've been very blessed and privileged to be able to take people back from the edge of suicide, and I mean literally people that have been right on the brink of just walking away, and that's it, calling it a day. And if you've ever been to any of my interventional type seminars, you'll know that. But equally, I've been able to work with people that are just having challenges with a relationship, or health challenges, or I've had people come through on the property trainings that I run, and they're just really caught in a conflict between which direction to go next, even which strategy to go next. They may have taken the journey to a certain extent, but they need to know where to go, what steps to take, or not knowing the answer to a particular situation. There's so many different variations on this. But over the years, I'm looking around because the light seems to be a bit weird. If I'm changing colour, I apologise. I think I need to just change a little bit of the lighting I've got going on here. Over the years, one of the things I've discovered is that poor communicators often do not ask the right questions. Now, those of you that are coming to my CWI event, and I think I've put a link down here, we're going virtual. Believe it or not, we're taking CWI virtual. Isn't that amazing? We're taking it virtual, and it's happening very soon. So get yourself registered. If you've been before, you'll know this is one of the parts of the process that I teach. So we have these 38 components of communication. Now, most people think communication is just speaking. That is a tiny part of the whole big picture. And inside those components is this subject of language and asking questions and having the right armory on your toolkit to make sure you're asking the right questions. And people say to me, well, is there a formulaic approach? And I say, well, yeah, there's the 4 W's. What's the 4 W's, Dr. Rowe? Okay, let me share the 4 W's with you. Those 4 W's are what, which, wide, and watch. What the hell are you talking about? What, which, wide, and watch. What does that mean? Okay. First of all, the most important thing to ask yourself is, in any communication that you have, anything at all, just finished a Zoom call just now for an hour, whether it's a Zoom call, and there's a lot of you doing Zoom calls out there, whether you're talking to a camera like this and there's absolutely, there's no physical connection with that person, but you're looking through the camera, you still have the ability to use this tool. You could even use this tool to some extent if you're delivering remotely. So if you said to me, but I'm a speaker, I do stuff online, or I do stuff on Instagram or Facebook. So how does this work? Well, you may have to allow for a delayed response when you're using this tool. But the key thing is, you have to ask yourself the question, what is the result? What is the outcome that you want to get from this particular contact, communication, meeting, presentation, dialogue, intimate talk, interview, whatever the situation is you're going into? Okay. So what you're telling me is I need to know where I'm really leading this. Correct. So in my mind, I need to be at the end of the conversation, and I'm picturing how it looks and feels. Now, if you're joining me in the next virtual event, we're going to go through this, and you're going to see me doing this live. And one of the benefits of that event, unlike maybe a lot of other events, is whereas I might be teaching you and delivering to you on a property course where I'm giving you content so you can process it, the communications event is very different. And it's a completely different experience. You're actually engaging in the process as well. Now, once you know what your outcome is, you've then got to decide which are the appropriate questions, and which, if you like, which responses do you want to elicit from the other person? Elicit meaning to extract from somebody. Now, in the years that I learnt coaching, which is 20, 25 years ago or more, I discovered one thing. Most people don't know, actually, when they're in the middle of something, they don't know what the right answer is. You might ask them a question, but they don't know what the right answer is. And the reason they don't know what the right answer is because you're the one controlling the conversation. So the more you have the ability to steer the conversation, there'll be a point where they kind of understand where you're taking it, but in the early stages of the conversation, they may not. And this is your opportunity to really use phenomenal tools. And I mean, these are life-changing. This will earn you hundreds of thousands of pounds, millions if you go into speaking, by the way. That's what I teach people to do. So if you learn to do this right, it will generate you millions of pounds in your business. Why? Because if you can get your customers to understand your questions, and your questions steer them in the right direction, it gives them an incentive to buy. The biggest pain for you, of course, if you get this wrong, it will cost you hundreds of thousands of pounds in revenue for your business, lost money from your angels if you're dealing with angel investors, and if it comes to relationships and family, possibly, relationships that break down and haven't had a great connection for years because you didn't ask the right questions, you didn't learn to master this part of communication. So I'm asking myself, what do I want to get out of this? Where do I want to steer them? Which are the right questions? Which are the things that I need to elicit from them? What do I want to get from them in order for me to take it down the right direction? So those two things first before you do anything else. Then it comes to wide. Now, what does wide mean? You go with wide questions. And I mean broad stroke questions. Like, tell me a little bit about, boom, broad stroke question. So what period were you, so you're narrowing down. You don't give it a yes or no. It's an open-ended question. You mentioned about the fact that you are wanting to change direction in your career. So what's driven you to that point? Okay, so that's a wide question. Now I'm asking that question because one of the things I want to get out of that conversation is what their pain is. I need to get to there, and my result is going to give them a lot more pleasure, a lot more motivation. So I want to find out what the motivation is. So I don't ask specifically about what is it you want to do. That's too narrow. I'm going to go back in reverse and say, so what's led you to this point where you're making this decision now? Wow, that's a huge question. It could take me down any number of corridors. And of course, those corridors, I don't need to worry which one it is because they're going to tell me by what they say next. And what they say next is communicated with their eyes, their breathing, their smile, the words they use. Those of you that are joining me and on the virtual event, you're going to watch this. I'm going to be talking and asking questions, and I'm going to have everybody watch a person, and you'll see the clues they give away. And we're looking for those clues. And those clues say, don't go in that door, don't go in that door, go in that door there. That's where we need to take the conversation. And this is the skill we develop as an effective communicator. So for now, that's a brilliant start to the process. Just have a play with that. It's like any conversation. It could be a conversation about breakfast. It could be a conversation about where you want to go for lunch. It could be a bigger, more meaningful question that you're having or a conversation you're having with somebody in the next couple of days. And just remember the 4 W's. Be interested to get some feedback from you here if you get a chance to come back in and tell us how you get on, because it's a very, very powerful tool. So that's me signing out. The 4 W's. Have fun with them. Oh, and by the way, come join me on the virtual event. The link's below. Go and find out a bit more about what we're doing. It's going to be an amazing experience.